Hey, good afternoon. Today is the 7th of June and it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm in Berlin. And this is Blücherplazt. So it's about maybe half an hour from downtown Berlin by train and tram. And so happens I'm here this weekend, and it's the weekend of the Carnival of Cultures. So there are a lot of different races and ethnicities in Berlin, and so this sort of carnival it stretches over 4 days, right? Started yesterday, today, and tomorrow there's going to be a parade along a different street, and after this, then on Monday. So you have a lot of food shops, and it's like food from Brazil, from Thailand, India, Jamaica, anything. So you want to try, right? So there's a lot of things to eat, and it's like a bazaar atmosphere over here. I'm here early, so it's not crowded yet. But I want to show you this. So this is a church. It's an It was a church, an evangelical church, and it's been converted into a community space. And this, I think, gives one of the best sort of glimpse into how the culture in Berlin is, because this church, as you can see, there's an LGBTQ plus flag there, and it's been converted into a concert hall and concert space. And the thing is, like churches, right? The acoustics are amazing. So let's go in and show you what's inside. The structure is beautiful. It really is. The only thing, I guess, is that there's no stained glass here, and I'm going through the side, as you can see. Like, okay, follow us, Pandora's Kreuzberg, and you come in, and there's a bar. Check that out, right? And look at the structure of the church itself. You can get beer here, and behind there's a beer garden right next to the church. And this is the center. So there'll be performances here later on. So look at that. So you can sit all the way up there and watch the performance. So this church, I don't know how old it is, but yeah, it's been converted into a space to enjoy music and just for the community, not just for God, okay? And this is where I want to sit, man. This is my space. I book it. So yeah, let me show you upstairs. Come on, let's go. I think this church is still being used as a church, perhaps, because I'm not sure. But it's just that this weekend, these 4 days, they're using it for, for a celebration of different cultures, the Carnival of Cultures. And I read that there were other concerts here before, so I'm not really sure. But the acoustics would be amazing. Just now someone was like, check 1 2 1 2, and the sound. Woof. So they built all this, and the church organ is still here, so you can still go up, right, and sit there and watch the performance. That's the church organ. So let's see what it says. There were some performances before. Oh, Philip Glass. Depeche Mode. Enjoy the Silence. 1990. I don't get this, but maybe they're playing it tonight. Okay. Our organ is very special and valuable. Don't climb the stairs, don't touch the organ. Look at that. You know, now if you believe in the concept of other lives and parallel lives, right? The other day it occurred to me that if I had a parallel life or another life before this, I was probably a musician or or even a rock star, right? Because I have this affinity towards music and I suck at guitar. 3 chords and the truth. That's it, okay? I sing a little. But, I probably was a musician or in a band or whatever, and it might have been popular, and then I got too much into excess and then died when I was like 25 or something like that. Drug overdose, too much sex, drugs and rock and roll and alcohol, probably. That would have been my life, right? Potential cut short. And then, boom, I came out. This version came out. So yeah, there's no stained glass and you can exit there. Check this out, man. It'd be really cool, right? Yeah, hang on. I forgot to wipe the lens earlier. So yeah. So about Berlin. I came here. This is my 3rd day. It's Saturday. I arrived from Paris on on Thursday, and there's a few key differences. So coming from Paris, Paris is beautiful. It's really, I think it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world, right? And not just the attractions, not the Eiffel Towers or the Champs-Élysées or the Louvre and all the museums, but essentially the city itself, how it was built, and the architecture is beautiful. You walk the streets, it's very walkable and cobbled streets and beautiful buildings now used as offices and things like that. It's just and walks along the Seine, and yeah, it's great. Berlin is less so. It's more, I would think, sort of industrial maybe, so less of what Paris has. But Berlin has a vibe that's very different from Paris. You can see how people dress here, how they talk, how you interact with them. Almost everyone speaks English, and generally they're nice. So whereas in Paris, even if they speak English, it may not be that well, and there's a little, you're speaking English, So at least try some French, which is true. It's not, as long as you say, hey, bonjour, madame, bonjour, monsieur, can I have a coffee, and stuff like that. And they're generally okay, but they don't smile. That's just their culture, right? In Berlin, it feels a little more accessible, and even the people, they dress differently. They're more casual and yet fashionable, but fashionable not in a way that is high fashion. It's more slightly grungier, edgier, more laid back, and yeah. So, and one thing is, coming in from the airport, I took the train into Berlin. The first thing was, hate to say this, Paris, I felt a lot safer on the train than Paris, than when I came in from Charles de Gaulle into Paris. It's just the entire vibe. Things are cleaner. It's not overcrowded. The people around you, you know, the families, and you don't feel that you got to watch out, right? Which you do need to in Paris more. So here, and you get along, you get on the trams, you get on the subway. There's trams, there's subways, there's buses, and it's all pretty cool. So yeah, I feel less like, I guess the word is tense. You know, I don't need to look around as much and people grabbing my phone or grabbing my stuff as much as I would in Paris. Yep. The other thing about the metro, so Paris, as in other countries like Japan and all that, the metro, you tap in, you get out, right? So you tap in, you go, you pay per entry, or you get your prepaid card and you get into the station. So for example, in Paris, each trip within each metro trip you tap in is 250 euros. Oh, look at that, man. So cool. Okay. So, and then you can get passes. The good thing about the system in Paris is I can load the app onto my watch and my phone. So I just contactless on my watch and I get in. So 250 per trip. And even if you buy 10, it's still the same as 25 euros. There's no discount. Berlin's system is different. You don't actually tap in. You go into a subway. It's there. There's no gates, nothing to block you. Straight on, you go into the train, right? What you do though is you can buy a ticket there, and that's it. So you can choose not to buy a ticket, but that would be bad, right? And what happens is you'll have certain inspectors coming around to check for your tickets, and if you don't have it, you'll get fined. And so, yeah, so it's very easy, you know. And I bought a 7-day pass, and that 7-day pass is for like 45 euros for 7 days within the main zones, because there's different zones, right? For zone A and B, and C is a bit more outer. So I got A and B, and it includes the trams, the buses, and the metro. So because I bought that, I just walk in and I don't have to tap anything, go into the station, come back out of the station, and it's very convenient. So that's a really cool thing about Berlin too. I'm sure a lot of people take advantage of it, but you know, it works. So yeah. So in a final analysis, or sort of between Paris and Berlin, architecturally, design, beauty of the city itself, Paris. In terms of the vibe, there's a sort of hipper, edgier, grungier, more laid back, cooler, more acceptance kind of vibe, Berlin. In terms of general feeling of not getting robbed or not pickpocketed or whatever like that, Berlin better than Paris. So yeah, look at this. This looks like KL's somewhere like a bazaar I would go to in Malaysia, right? So, and in terms of, I guess, the vibe, if Paris is Tokyo, Berlin would be Osaka. So both have its different feeling, but to me, this vibe is more me. I'm not very good with the haute couture, or not that I'm not good, it's not, I'm not into that. Yeah, I'm more, you know, my style, I'm more laid back and more like a biker than I guess a bicycler, not a biker. Then, you know, fashion capital of the world. So I'm not that. So the vibe here, I feel, yeah, it's more me. Just like Osaka itself, the vibe is slightly more me. So anyways, people are starting to come in. So it's gonna be a full day. I'm gonna look for some food, and there'll be some concerts and all that kind of things later. So talk to you guys later, man.